Alright, for this third tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use an instrument rack, audio effects, and MIDI effects. So we're going to start out with the instrument rack here. We're going to open up instruments, and we just got to grab the rack. If we were to put it right here, we'd just get an empty instrument rack, and then you put your instruments over top of that. But we've actually already got some instruments here, but we want to add them into an instrument rack. So it would have been easier if we did it at the beginning, but we can do it now. All we have to do is copy and paste the instrument. We'll grab the rack, drop it into where it was. Now we lost the instrument, but we'll put it back with our paste. And you'll notice this clip is still here, so we didn't actually lose the notes. They're still there. And if we go over to our arrangement function, we've got our mixer, track panning. We didn't lose the envelope either. So we're back to where we were, but we got it in an instrument rack, so we're just going to name that piano. And now we're going to do the exact same thing for the strings. So we're going to grab that, copy, instrument rack here, paste it in there, and we've still got our notes in there, and we'll still have the panning. So now we're going to go into the audio effects. We're going to use the drums for the first effect. We're going to put a little filter delay, and this one comes with Ableton. It's a great effect to use. It's pretty crazy with the default right now, especially for drums. So if we play that, you'll be able to tell that it's a little bit hectic, and we're gonna have to do something about that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the left input and the right input. We're just gonna have the one center input, left and right. We're gonna move the filter up to just the hi-hats and a bit of the snare right there. We're gonna keep the decay. Actually, we'll move it to 3. It's a good one to work with, and the volume can stay where it is, but this feedback, that's 46% is quite a bit of feedback. That's how many times the delay is going to come back at us. We're going to want to put that around 20, maybe even. We'll try it at 20. Let's see how this sounds. So you can hear those hi-hats coming back at us. If we bring it up, it doesn't make a huge difference because the hi-hats are going the whole time. But if we move it down, kind of like that with the snare coming out a little bit. So we'll just bring that down a little bit right there. Alright, so you could fiddle around with it for a long time, find what you want, but for this tutorial we got to keep things moving. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get these drums, a little bit more volume out of these drums. So we're going to grab a compressor, and we're still on the drums here. We're going to put it after the filter delay because we want it to compress all the echo, well, not the echo, the delay as well. And if we play it up here, you notice it sounds pretty much the exact same, but we're going to bring the threshold down a little bit. That's what actually compresses the sound. And then the output is sort of like a gain function here. And we can bring that right up, and we don't want it to clip like that though, but we do want them to come out quite punchy. So we're going to grab a limiter, we're going to put it at the end, and that's going to stop any sound above this ceiling here, negative 0.3 decibels. So if we pump it, you'll see a little orange bar coming here, and that's how much sound is getting cancelled out. So let's bring this bar a little bit down. And we don't want to overdo it, so we're just going to leave it there. But when you do it on your own, fiddle around with it, find what you like. And I'll just show you the difference that we got there. So this is what we had before the compression and the limiter. And then we just got them to come out a bit heavier. So now we're going to move on to the piano and the strings here. Rename that strings. And we're going to actually, these are the ones that we layered over top of one another. So we're going to want the effects to be pretty much the same. We're going to group them. So if I highlight the strings, I can press Shift, highlight the piano as well, and then Command G, and we've made a group. And in this group, we can drop audio effects. So let's find our reverb down here. That'll probably work for what kind of a sound we're going for. And let's see how that sounds when we play it back on just the default setting. So that's what we have with the reverb, without the reverb. So what we're going to mess around with is the decay time here. This is how much of a time there is between how much the reverberations come back at us you'll be able to hear it more clearly than I can really explain it without getting too into it. And I'm just going to mess around with this knob while we play it back. So you can hear it's a bit more reverb there. And if we go too high, it'll sound a bit too crazy. We don't want that. We're going to want it about 3.5. And we're just going to leave it like that for now. And that's affecting both the piano and the strings here, because it's in the group. So now we're going to go to our arrangement view, and I'm going to show you how to use the envelopes for these instruments, for these audio effects here. We're going to go to the drums, so let's click on the drum rack, and we're going to have the option between the compressor, limiter, and the filter delay. We'll go with the filter delay. It'll be a good one to mess around with. And then right here we can pick all the different functions there are, but there's quite a few, so an easy way to get around that, just click down here. We want to use the volume, and you notice it switched to input to volume for us already. And we're just going to fade it in, the same thing that we did with the sub, and it'll just fade in the delays. So if we turn off the red button, let's play that back, and let's listen to the delay sort of build as it gets to the variation there. Oops. We are still soloing the group. So let's start that again. So you can hear the delays coming in. Alright, and now we're going to get into MIDI effects. We're going to speed things along, switch back to our channel view, and we're going to use them on the piano and the strings. And we're just going to use a very simple chord effect here. So we're going to grab the chord, we're going to put it right in there in front, because that's where the MIDI effects go, audio effects go back there. And we're just going to shift it up 12 semitones, so that's 1 octave, and we'll end up just getting octave chords. Oops, that won't sound very good at 11. Alright, there we are. So let's see how this sounds. We'll just play the piano by itself. So that's with the octave. Without the octave, what we had before is that. So we kind of want to add that little octave in there. So we're going to do the same thing for the strings. Grab the chord function, bring it right in there, up to 12, and that's pretty much what we want. Let's solo that, see if it turns out right. That's what we had before, and then with the octave, this sounds a little bit better. So now let's play them together. Alright, so let's go to our piano here, and we're going to go back to instrument rack for a second. Now it's right here. We're going to open up this little button here, and that's going to give us the save function over here. So we're going to name this something appropriate for what we've got. We'll just go with grand piano. Chord. Could say octave chord would probably be more appropriate, but for now we'll just do this. We'll hit the save button. Automatically it'll take us to instrument racks, because that's what this is, and our name's right there. Press enter. Oh, we've already got one, so we just replaced that one. And now if you ever want to use this instrument that we got down here, all you've got to do is pick it up, drag it in there, and you can use that in other songs however you want to do. It kind of has the octave and everything. The only thing we lost was the reverb, because that was in the group. So if you want to change that, you just copy it, bring it in, and then save it again with the reverb. Alright, so that's everything for this tutorial. It'll be about a week before the next one comes out. I've got some things to do, but when I do come back, we'll get into making your own instruments so that you don't have to use the presets, and you can start creating your own style. We're going to use the VST Massive, as it's very popular, a lot of people have it, and it's very user-friendly, so it'll be perfect for a tutorial. Alright, thank you.